what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another small segment of On the Clock. I'm here by myself, as you can see, and today we're talking about the Midseason Overview. We're already in Week 8. Week 8 starts today, halfway through the season, technically Week 9, but, there's a lot to talk about, and we couldn't really fit it all, so we're just going to talk about it right now, and let's get started. Okay. So, the surprises so far, what I have here, obviously, the Giants and the Jets. Nobody would have thought. These are the good parts, the good surprises. Nobody would have thought that the Jets and the Giants would be a winning record team. Nobody thought that they had a good quarterback system. Nobody thought they had good pieces. Nobody thought they were going to have the success that they have now with the two coaches that they have now. Robert Saleh's more of a defensive mind, and Daboll's more of an offensive mind, and somehow, some way, they both piece together. The new regimes fixed the problem. That goes to show new regimes can fix your problems. That's why the Commanders need to get rid of their regime, but it could work. It could fix the issues. It's been working out really well. Daniel Jones has been looking like an All-Pro quarterback, like a Pro Bowl quarterback. Surprisingly, Breece Hall is doing really well until he went down with injury. But then again, they went and got James Robinson for another 2 years. It's the new regimes are really helping out. They're doing a good job there, and I'm proud of them. I really am. Even though I don't like the Jets because they're in the Dolphins division, but it is what it is. We got the Eagles. Nobody would have thought they would have gone 6-0. Nobody thought that, except me, or like a select group of people, that Jalen Hurts was going to be a franchise quarterback. Here we are. They got A.J. Brown. They went out and, Howie Roseman went out and got A.J. Brown. He went out and got Jordan Davis, traded up to get Jordan Davis. Went out and got C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Now they went and got Robert Quinn. That's just so many pieces that you can fit in such a good defense that you already have, such a good set that you already have, and just get better. That's one thing that GMs need to do, and I raved about this on Twitter. You need to get better. You can't be scared to get better. You can't be scared to trade a piece because you're in love with the guy to get better. If I have Roquan Smith, for example, but I can go out and get Luke Kuechly, I'm going to trade Roquan Smith to get Luke Kuechly because that makes me better when I already have a winning team around me. It's an example. I love both of them. Obviously, Roquan Smith, I think, is a really good linebacker, and Kuechly's a Hall of Fame linebacker, obviously one of the greatest of his time. But you know what I mean. You need to get better. If you're scared to get better, you're not gonna get better. You need to make sacrifices for anything to work. Geno Smith, the Seahawks, I would say yes, but it's really Geno Smith that's been carrying the load there because they have the pieces around them on offense, defense, but they have the offensive pieces. They just needed a quarterback, and what did they do? They trusted in Geno Smith, and Geno Smith is making it work. And then on top of that, he's being very efficient. And his passer rating is through the roof. He trusts his receivers. The receivers know him and trust him, and they like him. And that's how it be. Hopefully, Geno keeps going on that pace and keeps a starting job for the rest of his career because he's a damn good quarterback this year. That's for sure. The Broncos defense. The reason why I put the Broncos defense here is because the offense sucks. They score a league low 14-something points a game, and they have the best, one of the best defenses in the league. They give up 16.2 points per game on defense, which is insane for an offense that's sucking and a defense that's not sucking, and they're losing on short games that are small scores, like really small scores, baseball scores. Basically, is ridiculous. That's why. And now that they're going to get rid of Bradley Chubb probably if they lose to the Jaguars this weekend, the landscape for them is going to change. They're going to regress, but that's going to turn into a team for next season after the trade deadline if they keep losing. It's going to turn into a team for the next season. I think, hot take, we'll talk about this in another debate episode, Nathaniel Hackett needs to get fired. That's just me. He didn't call plays in Green Bay. He was just there sitting behind, looking pretty, making everybody look like, making everybody think that he was coaching the Aaron Rodgers. Not the case. But we'll see what happens. The Falcons. Arthur Smith and Marcus Mariota, who knew they would be a really good duo. They worked together in Tennessee, and it worked for the most part. This is their system, this is working for them. They're not winning. They're winning games more than they should, but the defense is really what's holding them back. I think if they upgrade their defense a little bit, they can see how it's going to go next year, and then the year after is when they really progress into changing whatever they need to change, or if they need to get rid of the quarterback, do whatever they need to do. But they've been doing really well, even without Kyle Pitts. I think they need to trade Kyle Pitts if they don't use him anymore. get rid of him in the offseason, maybe even the trade deadline. Probably won't happen, but if you're not going to keep using him, get some value for him. Get another tight end that you're not going to use, and bam. Because that system clearly doesn't use tight ends. And upgrade our running back would be helpful, considering you run the ball a lot. The disappointments, these are the bad surprises. The disappointments, we got a good amount. The Buccaneers, disappointing. Just really how I can put it. The defense, week by week, since week 1, destroying the Cowboys. Week by week, they regressed severely. The offense, you can see, Brady's decline. The run game isn't like it was. The offense, the interior O-line is trash. Due to injuries, obviously, and free agent signings. But trash interior O-line. The run game sucked because of it. Because they don't run outside runs. If you can't have your guards working for you in the run game, they're not going to do shit. And Mike Evans dropping that pass to kill the momentum against the Panthers last week really did the number. The Packers. What I can say about this is the run defense has sucked. The run defense has been abysmal. And he's fixing. You can't draft to help the defense, and the defense has not helped you. It's not going to save your job. Kenny Clark needs help. Rashawn Gary needs help. Preston Smith needs help. Jair Alexander needs help. The whole defense needs help. They need a better second linebacker. They need a better interior D line. That interior D line outside of Kenny Walker, Kenny Clark, fucking garbage. But yeah, their run defense is trash. Their pass defense is good until Taylor Heineke exposed them last week. And then you have the run game that they don't use. When you have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, a good 1-2 combo, you don't use the run game. A lot of teams have been, running away from the run. Ironic. They don't use it anymore, and it's just declining. It's not working out, and they need a receiver. My take is, if Gutekunst doesn't help the team in any way, if he doesn't get interior D-line, O-line, or receiver help, fire him at the end of the year. Fire him. Because he's not doing his job that he should have been doing for a long time. They could be an NFC contender. They could be in the Super Bowl if it wasn't for the negligence on his part. And coming from a Packers fan, I'm allowed to say that. Russell Wilson. Nobody would have expected this. $240 million later, nobody would have expected this. He still had 2 years left on his deal. Signed that extension. People are talking about he did it on purpose. I don't think so. That's just ridiculous. What is it that Stephen A. Smith says? He says the best part about Russell Wilson being in Denver is that he brought Ciara with him. That's funny. But no. I think he picks it up. I do. I think now he's trying to get acclimated to Nathaniel Hackett's garbage offensive play calling. I think he gets back into it. I think with the new coaching system, next year he's going to be a different beast. I really do think so. The Raiders, the reason why they've been disappointed is because their defense has not been good at all, and their offense is carrying the load, and even then the offensive line has been doo-doo ass cheeks from left guard all the way down to right tackle. Colton Miller is one of the top 10, top 15 left tackles in the league. What else do you have after that? Nothing. So the defense and the offensive line really need upgrading. They really do. They could be a lot better. They could still contend for the division if they upgraded some pieces in the trade deadline. They could still contend for the division. I think they barely hit the wild card, but they still have time. There's still time. The Matt Ryan sweepstakes. They benched him recently for Sam Ehlinger, who out of Texas looked really good. Looked pretty good. They benched him for having a shoulder separation and for his garbage play. He's been pretty whack, throwing a lot of interceptions, making a lot of careless throws. But then again, it's not like they're helping him. The O-line has been regressing severely this year. The defense has regressed severely since Matt Eberflus left. That tells you that he's a good defense. The fact that the Colts defense has gotten worse than the Bears defense, it tells you things. It tells you. And the offense, they haven't supplied him with receivers that can help. I mean, Michael Pittman's clearly a receiver one, but then you have Alec Pierce who's been flashes. Then again, it all depends on the O-line. Once the O-line gives you the time, especially for an older quarterback like Matt Ryan, whose reaction time kind of slowed down a little bit, you need a better O-line. You need protection. That's why Tom Brady's still here now. Why do you think Tom Brady's regressing? Because he doesn't have enough time to be able to react. Because with age, your reacting time slows. That's just my opinion. I saw something on Instagram too that he started 28 weeks and 3 days, and then they benched him. So he's never going to get away from that number. Pobrecito Matt Ryan. Here's what we're questioning. These are like the questions that could rise up throughout the season. Commanders QB situation. let us know what you guys think. If you want to answer these questions, let us know in the comments. We got our Instagram and our Twitter down below. You can let us know anything you guys want. We encourage it. I think with the quarterback situation and the Commanders, I think Heineke stays the future starter. They're not going to have a high enough pick. They're not going to have a high enough pick to get a quarterback. They're not going to have a low enough pick to just get garbage. I think Heineke proves himself throughout the year like he has the last 2 years, in my opinion, and he becomes a quarterback of the year. He becomes a quarterback for the future. For the next year, not the future. That's a lot. That's what I think. But again, let us know what you think down below. The Colts QB situation. Obviously, Ellinger's going to probably stay there. That's really all they have. I think Ellinger stays there for the rest of the year. I don't think he does that bad, specifically because of the run. But I don't think he does bad enough to get benched again. I think Matt Ryan's just going to coach him up from the sidelines and see what he does there. Probably even better. Probably makes Matt Ryan a future coach. Who knows? We'll just have to see about that. But I think Ellinger stays. Bears go into full rebuild. They did trade Robert Quinn yesterday. It's getting a lot of money off the books. He hasn't produced much. He's only got 1 sack on the year, a couple pressures, a couple TFLs. But, the defense has been really well. The offense has been improving. The offensive line still sucks. You're not going to win that division because the Packers, if they do what they're supposed to do and trade for a damn receiver, trade for some help, they win that. They contend in that division with the Vikings. I don't think the NFC is going to give you that playoff berth. I think they should go into full rebuild. I think they should trade Roquan Smith at least. Maybe even Eddie Jackson, Riley Reef. You got pieces there. Trade them and then just go from there. Use those picks, stack them up, rebuild. Do what you got to do because you're not going to contend for that division now anytime soon. You're not even going to contend for the playoffs anytime soon this year. The NFC West become the new NFC East. Maybe the Rams have been Super Bowl hungover. They're struggling big time. Then again, it is injuries. Niners, same thing, injuries. If they're healthy, they're Super Bowl contenders behind the Eagles, in my opinion, number 2 contenders in the NFC. The Seahawks, they're good. They're doing good now, but who knows if they keep it for the rest of the year? I don't think so. I think they stay mediocre at best. I don't think this is going to be like a huge run. And the Cardinals, the reason why I said the NFC East, the new NFC East of last year, for example, is because the mediocrity is going to strike. I think all of them are going to be like 1 or 2 wins or losses above the records, and it's going to be a really tight race. The Patriots stick with Mac Jones. I think so. I did think that they messed up badly when Belichick put Zappe on the bench, knowing damn well his momentum was carrying them to wins. I think if they started Bailey Zappe, the momentum would have carried them to a win. That's what I was banking on when episode 3 came out. That's what I was banking on. But it didn't happen. You stuck with Mac Jones because he looked better or whatever. He got 2 touchdowns and 6 picks on the year. They benched him after 6 pass attempts. Even though he can get the ball, he can get yards with his legs. They benched him after 6 pass attempts. Bailey Zappe had a good second quarter and then blew down in the second half. I think they stick with Mac Jones now because the momentum just got killed. Unless he does really bad. Unless he continues to do bad. I mean, think about it. Last year he was a Pro Bowler. Now what? Sophomore slumps exist. They do. See it all over any league. They exist. They're a real thing. You're just getting acclimated again to the adjustments that people are making to you. It's simple, I think he bounces back. If not this year, next year, for sure. He's a quarterback of the future. I see it. And what happens next? This is what I think would happen for the rest of the year. I think the Eagles stay hot. I don't think they go 17-0. I think they lose 2-3 games, towards the end of the year. But it's there for sure. They stay hot. They can make it. I think they make it to the Super Bowl. There's really no other NFC contender that can compete with them other than the healthy Niners. And if Jimmy G doesn't get pressured all the time, we'll see about that. The Dolphins beat the Jets in a race for the division. The Dolphins got Tua back unless he doesn't get injured, unless there's no more injury-riddled players there, unless Byron Jones can come back and performs like he did in Dallas. The Jets could start losing games, including against the Dolphins, which the Dolphins need to win the next game against the Jets if they want to keep the division lead. And that's how it'd be. I think the Dolphins. I think it's Bills, Dolphins, Jets, Patriots in that order. And the Dolphins and Jets are split by like a game or 2. They could both make the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it happens if the Dolphins beat the Jets in Week 18. Heineke and Geno secure their spots for another year. I think that. I think Heineke and Geno Heineke needs some more time to prove, but I think Gino's already proved that he can be the starting quarterback for the team for another year while they can improve their areas on defense and then pick up a quarterback the year after. But I think this next offseason you take to rebuild that defense and then come back the next year with because the division is low-key regressing, but come back next year, like the year after next 2024, and secure quarterback, do what you need to do. Quinn Ewers, maybe, who knows? Just build around everything else first. Keep Gino there while he's sustainable, and then next year, the year after, see what happens. Now we're going to the bad. Cardinals, Colts, Broncos all fire their head coaches at some point. I think so. Maybe the least likely would be the Cardinals, simply because the division's so lackluster. They could make a comeback for it. They could make a run for it. But the Colts, I see it happening. You can't just invest all that money, claim that you're the man behind the judgment. You and Ballard agreed to get Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan and give up draft capital like crazy for them. I think one of them gets charged, Frank Reich, I think. And the Broncos, I think Nathaniel Hackett in the offseason gets fired. I don't see him staying there, knowing damn well Russell Wilson could be a lot better. It's just your schematics suck. That's just how I see it. And yeah, that's the Cardinals be the least likely if they make a run. If they don't, if they stay mediocre, if they don't make the playoffs this year, Kingsbury's getting fired. He is. It's too much mediocrity. You can't live in the mid. Detroit doesn't make it out of the slums. No, they don't. I don't see Detroit getting better this year. I think they get better gradually in terms of practice, in terms of games. You see the flashes, but I don't think they win games as much as everybody might assume. So I think Detroit stays there in the slumps. I think this is another tanking year. I think this is another year to improve the defense, improve your team interior, sign some free agents, all of the above. And lastly, the Browns season is over. They got a pretty tough schedule. Jacoby Brissett's not going to win you those games. It's going to be that reliance on that defense and that running game. But for some reason, Kevin Stefanski, who's a run-heavy guy, is running away from the run. A lot of teams have been doing this year. I said it earlier in the video. A lot of teams have been just shying away from the run, knowing damn well it's killing defenses, and they just don't want to run the ball. Running the ball saves you games. You need to make things unpredictable. If you make things predictable, then it's going to be too easy to intercept you to whatever. You need to win games. And how are you going to win games? Confuse the people. It's like they're watching your playbook on Madden when you're sitting right next to them playing against them. They can see it. It's too predictable. So you need to switch it up. And Stefanski has the running game, the best running game in the league. Use it. And yeah, that'll be all for this video. There is more to come, as you can see. We got power rankings. We got trade videos for the trade deadline coming up on November 1st, which is a Tuesday. Tier list, debate episodes, and more. Please go ahead and like and subscribe down below. Turn your post notifications on. See when we post new videos. And let us know in the comments what you guys want on these takes videos. What kind of videos you guys want us to post. And give us some hot takes that you guys think, opinions, whatever you guys think we should do to improve. And yeah, that'll be all.